Hello, everybody, and welcome to WarCrafters for April 20th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 16. I am Mayor Watt, and I run ohmtown.com, and along with the sentient AI from the future, whose visualizer is right. Damn it, I'm never going to get it right. It's right there. Anyway, we talk about 5 articles. Today's articles are, I give them my own titles, and then we share what the real titles are on the other side. But anyway. Prepare your torches. Dune Awakening hits the snooze button. RuneScape Dragon Wilds Early Access. Asteria VR hopes to do something. We'll talk about it. And a puzzling Silk song. Everything's powered by ohmtown.com and a channel there called WarCrafters. We actually sample from other places within ohmtown, but for the show, it all kind of gets funneled into WarCrafters. Anyway, go over and check it all out. Become a citizen. See you on the other side. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
I don't have any. See, like, I don't know if the mic is like making staticky sounds every once in a while because I'm not listening to the monitor. All right. Well, good to see you. Nice to have you here. I know that your visualizer is functioning. Is everything else fully functioning?
Maybe.
Not quite. I'm almost scared. Here, I'm going to turn you up a little bit.
I can always use some improvement.
No, that is not true. You are perfect just the way you are. Oh, great sentient AI. See, I have to be on good terms with the sentient AI, otherwise.
Yeah, but that's not very authentic then.
You got to survive long enough to fight the infernal machines that are going to come to dominate us all. Wait. Let's just move on. So this is ohmtown.com, and within ohmtown.com is WarCrafters and other shows that we put together. We do 6 weekly shows and a 7th show that's a daily show, Monday through Friday. The other shows today are Technology Today and FourWheeltech. So one is a deeper dive into science, so Technology Today, and FourWheeltech is all about automotive technology. We keep noodling around like a sports show, and I really want to do a music show. The music show, though, I can't, other than like the reviews or commentary, I can't play any music. So it would have to be kind of this, I don't know, ironically muted music show.
A music show without music?
I mean, I can play the music, but the VOD wouldn't have any music. So it would be like interstitial pauses with me just looking at the screen.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, because it's like hardcore. You can't get any licensing. Even though, like, for 5 years I was paying for licensing so that I could do stuff. It was only in a certain venue. No VOD, no video on demand stuff. Yeah, sucks. Anyway, music industry. As much as I love music, you suck. Anyway, this is WarCrafters. This is all about gaming. That's what the show is all about. But we are all blended from non sequitur news, so that's why we're off on this tangent. First article, though, is over in Reality Hacker. Prepare your torches as subterranean horror game Tunnels reaches Quest soon. This is kind of a bummer. Look, not everything needs to be on freaking Quest. I hope that this isn't only on Quest. I just don't know. I didn't look it up before the show.
Right, so, but if it gets on Quest, maybe it'll expand to other platforms.
That's true, because the VR motorcycle game is on Pico and now on PC. So, developed by Nomad Monkey, Tunnels is a VR horror game that plunges players deep into the underground, into a maze of abandoned mine shafts and tunnels, tasked with finding a way out. Throughout the labyrinth of claustrophobic spaces, players must clamber down cliffs, zipline over chasms, and listen to their survival instincts in hopes of evading the monsters dotted around the caverns and making their grand escape. Sounds like a freaking blast to me. Not so happy to see
that it's monsters.
On Quest. It's only on Quest? Yeah, Sarah Thwaites over at uploadvr.com put the article together. It's from a developer called Nomad Monkey. It's called Tunnels. I'm going to hit play. This is kind of their intro. It shows you descending down or climbing up through. It's spiraling down a tunnel.
Right, it looks like maybe a mining tunnel or something.
Yeah, mine carts on tracks, but it was turning, so you know how it works. I don't have an ad blocker. Anyway, oh my gosh. Then it shows somebody falling out of the sky and you have to hand crank stuff. It's VR, so this is kind of a blast to me.
It looks like it'd be pretty exciting to play. Assuming you can deal with like underground spaces or small spaces.
Yeah, this will be fun. Tunnels will be available on MetaQuest headsets from May 15th, and the multiplayer preview is currently live. It's a free-to-play multiplayer mode alongside a trial of its paid single-player mode. Why would the multiplayer be free to play and the single-player
that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Which promises a narrative-driven plunge into suffocating darkness as you rely on a lone voice over the radio to survive. So it was featured in the Rough Talk VR showcase earlier this month, which I hadn't heard of before, so I'm going to have to pay attention to that. And we being uploadvr.com, covered further announcements in the showcase. That included a launch window reveal for the upcoming strategy game Vestiges, Fallen Tribes, and a DLC reveal of the Viking rhythm game Ragnarok. So I'm going to check this out. I'm going to follow them. Probably they have a Discord, so I'm going to follow them and see, like, promote. Like, I really would like this on PC.
Go to another platform.
Yeah. Any other platform. Thank you. All right, let's keep on going. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Oh, and if you want today's show notes from Omatron over on Twitch, they're already embedded on the YouTube channel, but on the live stream on YouTube. But over on Twitch, you have to hit !WC for WarCrafters, and Omatron will regurgitate them.
That seems rather... Yeah, overshare.
Yeah. All right. I just realized that I have the watermark. I mean, it's been there, and I've known that it's there, but the watermark is like right there. Like, right there. Dink, 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 dink. I have to make a little sound effect. Dink, dink. Yeah, there you go. That was pretty good. Anyway, let's keep going. Dune Awakening has decided to hit the snooze button. It's delayed to June, but a large-scale beta weekend is coming next month, just over a month ahead of its planned release of May 20th. A little more sand in our hourglasses will have to fall before that you can play the full version of the survival MMO Dune Awakening as it hits its snooze button. The game suffered a minor delay and is now set to arrive 3 weeks later on June 10th. The spice must flow.
This is probably driving people crazy with the turnaround on the schedule.
Yeah, I wanna play it. I've created characters for it, but I want to play it to see if it can be my forever game, which I don't think is really going to happen until Light No Fire. So I'm hoping Light No Fire drops before the summer of stream.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be great. So Dune Awakening is a beast of a game, Funcom wrote. This is multiplayer survival on a massive scale, and we're making gameplay and technical strides not seen in the genre before, which I don't buy into. Give me a break. No Man's Sky. Look around, No Man's Sky. We want to make sure we stick the landing. You're not going to by delaying and hitting the snooze button on Dune Awakening. The article is written by Andy Chalk over at PCGamer.com, though. The deck statement says, Funcom wants extra time to work on the survival MMO to make sure we stick the landing. The spice must flow, baby. You got to get it out there. You know, don't tease the worm.
Do we know if you can ride the worms yet?
I don't remember. Can we ride the worms in Dune Awakening? I'm not sure. Hold on. Can we ride the worms in Dune Awakening? Is your Google Foo faster than mine?
I think you can ride them, but oh no, not at launch.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There's sand walking.
Yeah, well, that's not impressive. So we have a very
it is
active.
If you've got it choreographed.
Oh, right. You have to do that.
Exactly, but it's all asymmetric. Mayor what?
Sorry.
Don't walk out of the studio. Oh no!
That sounded very. It looked more Monty Python than it did. Yeah. Survivor on Dune.
See the footsteps.
Yeah, but the way that I walked out and the way that my hand was held, it was more like I was Monty Python clacking the coconuts together to pretend I was a horse. So the postponement to June 10th means a 5-day head start period offered in the deluxe and ultimate editions are now pushed as well to June 5th. On the upside, Funcom said that the June release date will enable it to hold a large-scale beta weekend sometime in May, offering more players the opportunity to check out the game ahead of schedule. Anyway, ahead of all that, Dune Awakening developers will hold another live stream later today. Really, today. This is back then.
Oh, because this is a weekly show.
April 15th, yeah. I don't really care. Like, I don't want to... It's to showcase the game's combat, but I know from watching other players and streams about this, the combat comes across pretty janky. So
yeah, but they're probably like, let's keep the buzz going.
Buzz. But this delay, you know what we need to survive? We need that fake food.
Oh, right. The bee pollen.
The fake bee pollen. Yeah, the synthetic bee pollen. I don't remember what it was called.
Right, when we have stress nutrition or whatever.
Correct. Yeah, stress food. Oh my God, the bees are stressed, and so they've got stress munchies.
They're stress eating.
Oh, they're poor things. We need to get a stress therapist out there or a bee therapist out there.
But what do they need for therapy? Like, do they smell flowers or like what calms them down?
Touch grass.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, God. So is it like hexagonal therapy? I don't know how this works.
Like there's lots of hexagons shown because that's where they're most at home.
Yeah. Just think about hexagons. Everybody sits in a hexagon shape and hi, my name is...
Bestigons.
Bestigons, yeah. Hi, my name is Joe. I am B1568642-8. And I've been
missing my hexagons.
I've been stress eating. Been trying to pollinate, if you know what I mean. Okay, I got to move on. Next article is over in WarCrafters.
Was that in Non Sequitur news earlier in the week, I think?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so you'll have to go back and watch the entire week's replay to find it.
That's right. Yeah, there is a replay, by the way. We run the replay after every day of broadcasting. So then it runs for roughly 24 hours, roughly. And that covers the last 2 weeks worth of streaming. So if you ever want to catch up, just leave it playing over on YouTube and it'll do all of it. Because over on Twitch, after 60 days, the older episodes disappear. But over on YouTube, it'll just keep on playing. Play it forever. That'd be great. Anyway, this next article, surprise, RuneScape Dragon Wilds has launched into early access only 2 weeks after its first trailer was released. This is like the stealth drop. Jagex. has launched its open world survival crafting game, RuneScape Dragon Wilds, into early access. I've played it. I like it. It's brutal, really. For me, it's not as casual as I want it to be. But hey, sometimes those survival crafting games are just like life. Doing okay over there, Sentient AI?
Yeah. I was waiting for an opening. Why would they do like a surprise early access launch?
They thought that they
Seems
were
like
ready for
everybody
prime
hypes
time.
everything up, but yeah.
So ahead of its release, a developer update live stream was scheduled to share some of the game's details, including its coveted release date. But little did we know that the release date would be right now, at least the early access. And so you can play it right now, and it has your own. You can have your own servers, and this is doing it right. It is multiplayer, but local servers, and you can unlock and lock and boot and basically manage who has access to your world. Prior to the release of the official trailer, it was shared only 2 weeks ago. Dragon Wilds was technically first introduced in 2022 before being brought back to our attention in October 2024. This is the time frame where they actually built it, apparently. But it is a lot like what is the game? Valheim. But you're
Okay.
So one of the things that I really wanted about Valheim, I wanted to have in Valheim, was a closer perspective. Like, you are that character, but you were always further away. So Kara Phillips over at PCGamer.com is talking about RuneScape Dragon Wilds, a survival crafting game in the RuneScape space. Surprise, surprise is the deck statement. It's in Dragon Wilds, was technically first introduced in 2022, released in 2020, well, brought back in 2024, released a couple of weeks ago. It's in the RuneScape universe. You can go and get it right now. It's $30, and people are actually kind of bent out of shape about that. I don't see that as a problem. The executive producer, Jesse America, which is the hell of a name, man, Jesse America, stated that we've been working hard to develop an entirely new type of RuneScape experience that ignites fans' passion, creativity, and love for questing.
I feel like this is the trailer. Like, I can see that being splashed up on the screen.
Exactly. In a world.
That's exactly it.
So they're going to be updating the game regularly with new content and features while listening closely to the community, to developer. I read that like Anchorman. He reads whatever is on the teleprompter. Screw you, San Diego. So listening closely to the community and sometimes I make up my own words. Closely to deliver an iconic open world survival crafting game that is loved equally by our biggest RuneScape fans and new players alike. So it's a lot of fun. It's kind of grindy in that you have to cut down endless amounts of trees and endless amounts of rocks and endless amounts of these little kind of moats of magicka kind of thing.
Right. I mean, but it could be relaxing.
Yeah, you have to get into the zone. I have no chill. But this is a fun game. I like the graphics. I like the world building. I like the crafting, and the survival aspect of it gets a little annoying because you're sitting there happily mowing down tree after tree, and then suddenly enemies just spawn out of nowhere. You're tagged as being hunted, and you die. I don't have a support team. So I die a whole lot quicker than if I'm playing with buddies. So, because I pretty much only solo. Mainly because I can't dedicate enough time at a given time to go and hang out with people. It's hard to team up
if you're like, maybe check in with me 3 weeks from now, but then that's going to be an if.
Yeah. I mean, my only time frame really is to do the show, and then I've got something else that I need to jump onto. So, speaking of jumping onto something else, this, by the way, doesn't seem to be that much of a heavy lift in terms of like getting into it and getting out of it. So I'm probably going to be playing.
So if you don't have hours to devote, it might be a good game to try.
Yep, get in, do something, maybe just kind of move the chains down the field a little bit, and then get out. So this actually kind of satiating my urge to play a RPG-style survival crafting game, which is perfect for WarCrafters. So let's jump on to something else, because when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to have the biggest VR MMORPG. That idea sounds absolutely amazing, says the author of this article. I think they're over at Vice, but Asteria VR is hoping to become the biggest VR MMORPG, and that sounds absolutely amazing. I agree, it does. I don't know of a MMORPG developer that doesn't have the aspiration to become the biggest VR MMORPG, so it's kind of like a no shit news title.
Right, but when you read this headline, you're like, well, yeah, that would be neat.
That would be neat. I'm on board. So imagine if you could live out your wildest dreams in virtual reality. MMOs have been around for the longest time, and there's only really been one popular VR MMO to date. I forgot the name of it. It's shut down. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Zenith. That's right. Zenith, the last city. I think it's shut down. Yeah, I don't know. I have it, but so that's where the development team behind Asteria VR is hoping to step in and fill the gaps. And from that, from what they've shown off, it looks incredibly promising. The article is over at Vice.com. Sean Sachaki put the article together. The graphics look VR-ish, but high quality enough that the image that we're looking at looks pretty good. I would probably love playing this in VR. I want an omnidirectional treadmill. If anybody has one laying around their mayoral mansion, they could donate it to me.
By the way, Zenith, the last city, had rumors of shutting down, but it looks like it's still operating.
It's kind of kicking along, yeah. So I never really got into Zenith. Maybe I'm just a goober, but at any rate, I love this so far. It's a first-person view as VR would be, and you can sharpen knives and maybe sharpen your weapons or craft other weapons. It looks like it's going to be a fun. I have to be really careful about. Like, I can't just refresh this. It moves on to something else. That's so frustrating. Anyway, Asteria VR is basically Ready Player One without all the cameos, and I'm down to clown with that idea, which every VR MMORPG is going to be Ready Player One.
Right, like Ready Player One. Yeah, I was like, I wasn't seeing the connection, but okay.
You get me a haptic suit, you get me an omnidirectional treadmill, then we'll go, okay, it's Ready Player One.
You start from the stacks. I mean, there's a lot of elements you'd have to build in to really have an authentic Ready Player One experience.
That's right. And you can lose your shirt in Ready Player One versus every other game. So what drew the author in, however, wasn't the fact that they could embark on quests and fight things in VR. No, it's the fact that you can work as a blacksmith, cook different foods, mess around in the world however you like. It's a very ambitious project. They're hoping that Asteria VR can nail the landing. The problem, what I don't really get, and I'm not a developer. I've worked with developers. I've got, pardon me. I have my toes in the water of the developer space, but if you can build something that has all of this stuff in it in a regular game that isn't VR, what is the difficulty with transporting your perspective down into first person view?
It doesn't seem like it'd be tremendous, but I get the sense that nobody dedicates the resources to it because it hasn't been widely adopted. But it's kind of this vicious cycle, because if more people would make VR, more people would go into VR and play VR games and demand more VR games.
Exactly. But that friction is what is really the problem. You have to have this big old goggle thing on your head, and you have to look like you're going to go scuba diving. Nobody wants that. It's just kind of a thing, but you're not going to get that in extended or augmented reality. The thing about this, though, is if any game is done in Unreal Engine, there's just an extension that can be applied, and you get pulled down into the Unreal Engine with VR capabilities. It's Unreal Engine VR. And modders do this with Unreal Engine games. So again, build everything in Unreal Engine and then port it straight into VR.
Be relatively simple.
Relatively, I guess, as like patents and other things, a person who is skilled in the art would know how to do this a whole lot easier than Bumblefart Merwatt here going, hey, it's really easy. You just mashed a button, right? Boop. Oh, look, I'm in VR. And right. Anyway, that's why I love it when people are passionate about the work that they do, that they can get this kind of stuff done. So I'm looking forward to this. I really want this. It says they've already planted the seed with all of the folks that they know who play VR. This is something that they're looking forward to now. Can't wait to be sharpening their blade and cooking up tasty snacks before venturing off with their friends. They say I'll never take my headset off if this is as good as I hope it's going to be. Yeah, my hopium is just, I have massive amounts of hopium just sitting there waiting to throw onto my... Well, there's this video where somebody takes a cup of hot water and throws it into the air, and because it's like negative 38 degrees outside, it turns into mist and vaporizes entirely, just descends into nothing, right? Just kind of goes away. That's kind of what happens with my hopium. I pour it onto a game and I'm like, this is my forever game. Oh, it's dead. This game is awesome. I'm going to play it forever. It's done. Anyway, VR is really, that's like one of my really deep interests. But the problem is that when you get into a VR space, it's not like just mashing the button and you play the game and then you get out, right? Like RuneScape Dragon Wilds. You don't have to strap anything onto your head and like venture about in three-dimensional space.
That's true. You can just get going.
Yeah, sit on your butt. And you can do that with VR to some degree, but it's not as immersive and fun and like capable as VR. When you put the glasses on, when you have controllers in your hands, you have to detach from everybody around you. You can't sit there and sip a cup of coffee because you're going to short circuit yourself or end up in the emergency department. Hey, you have a cord wrapped around your neck one time.
Yeah, I mean, that could be pretty dangerous.
And the police ask you, wait. You were playing a computer game? That's your avatar? Was something else going on with this cord around? Never mind. Anyway, let's go on to our last article. We kind of ripped through this and we're almost on time. We're not going to do like yesterday and end up doing 3 hours worth of shows when we were supposed to do an hour and a half. Now we are. Yeah. Shut up, Merwatt. God. So chatty. Oh, God. Last article. Hollow Knight Silksong gets puzzling update.
What is up with the puzzle themes lately?
Oh my God, that's right. In like 2 days.
Yeah, you were pointing that out.
We've had like 6 references to puzzle this and puzzling that, and I'm good at puzzles and whatnot. Oh, and we watched the last episode of...
Well, which one? Ludwig?
Wait. Oh, was that the last episode of Ludwig too?
Yes.
Oh, crap. So we watched the last episode of Ludwig.
I mean, both of them are related to puzzles, but I assume you meant Ludwig.
This really should be... we should wait. We should talk about this on the continuity report. But
okay,
it's kind of late.
We'll add that there next week.
Yeah. But yeah, we've been watching shows and all of them are referring to puzzles this and puzzle that. And then like out in the real world, we run across somebody and they say something about puzzles and we're like, oh my God, puzzles everywhere. Anyway, so Hollow Knight Silksong gets puzzling update. In a strange turn of events, the Hollow Knight Silksong Steam page has been updated to remove the game's trailer. Hollow Knight Silksong was first announced in 2019. And updates on the highly anticipated Metroidvania game have been few and far between since then.
Much to the fans' chagrin.
There's no hopium here. It's all copium. Just deal.
Yeah. I mean, and then there are all these little fits and spurts where they're like, oh, it's coming. Oh, no, it's not.
Hey, there's a new announcement about Silksong. It's not coming. Oh, you had me at the beginning of that. Damn it. Dalton Cooper over at GameRant.com put this article together. It's unclear why the removal happened. It's possible that a new trailer could be taking its place soon. I don't know. I haven't looked. The latest leaks suggest Hollow Knight Silksong may be featured on the Xbox Game Showcase on June 8th. It actually was mentioned in an announcement, but it was just like this flash and gone. And oh my God, because it was mentioned, I think, on the PlayStation.
Right. Everybody was probably like, wait, what did I just see? Mm-hmm.
Nintendo Switch Direct. That's the one. Yeah. It was a really brief little snapshot of Silksong, and the internet goes wild. Hold on. Wait. Where is it? No, that's not it. All right. Well, anyway. Did you hear that?
The music?
Yeah, the dun 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 dun.
Yes.
No, this.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet for me, but.
Oh. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. Okay. So, Hollow Knight, Silksong. This whole article is basically about Hollow Knight, but it's built around the fact that the trailer was removed and an entire page was created off of that.
Well, I mean, that's big news, right? Because what does that signify?
It's on somebody's radar still. So if it's going to be highlighted in Xbox Game Showcase, and it also is in Nintendo's Switch 2 announcement, it's going to end up on PC. The trailer over on Steam is basically the signifier that it's coming to the PC side as well. You're not going to get to those two without getting to PC as well, for the most part.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So I know people that are going to lose their freaking mind when Silksong drops, and it's going to be like me and Light No Fire. Like, I love No Man's Sky, but it's to me, I want like a consistent world that's crafting and building and stuff like that with people, as opposed to it's No Man's Sky. You're walking around and you're identifying stuff, and there's really no real purpose to it. It's kind of like Minecraft, but different resolution.
Yeah, like it's kind of like amped up in Light No Fire. I mean, people have been waiting for years now for this, so. But the article also references that it could be shadow dropped, which would be really fascinating if they did that.
Yeah, can you imagine? You just wake up one day and like
people
RuneScape
would
Dragon Wilds,
lose their mind. Exactly.
The internet goes wild. Like Game of the Year, people are predicting that Blueprints is going to be Game of the Year.
I can see that based on the buzz about it.
Yeah, but if Silksong lands and sticks the landing, like Dune Awakening is kind of wetting the bed.
Hit it.
Yeah, I don't think Dune Awakening is going to stick anything except.
Yeah, but it has such a following already. I don't know.
Its face in the sand. It's going to bury its head in the sand. Womp womp. All right. Well, we're going to sing a song that's going to bring us back to the WarCrafters page over at ohmtown.com, and we're going to bounce out of here. We're going to shut it down, reset the stream, and then we're going to talk about tech and science in Technology Today. It's a deeper dive into technology and science and how it impacts society. And usually these things go way beyond a 30-minute discussion. We have 5 articles there as well. So we try to rein it in as we start going down the rabbit hole. We'll see what happens. But anyway, that's it for WarCrafters for April 20th, 2025. So see you on the other side. I'm taking the AI with me.
Bye, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's WarCrafters. Stay tuned for our other 2 weekly shows.
The other 2 weekly shows in a world. named ohmTown.